So guys, when we talk about the Azure Databricks, so guys, when we talk about the Azure Databricks, everyone, the Azure Databricks is nothing but basically Azure Databricks is nothing but basically it is a cloud service. It is a cloud service, guys. As you already know, I'm just brushing up. Okay, cloud service, and this cloud service is provided by the Microsoft. Am I right? So whereas using this Azure Databricks, we can perform the following task. What is that? The first one is called as the, yes guys, the first one is called as the data migration. The first one we call it as a data migration. Then we can also perform the task called data integration. Data migration, data integration. Then we have the data summarization. Okay, guys. So these are all the tasks we can perform it by using the Azure Databricks. There is nothing but the first one is the data migration. Okay. And then we have the data integration. And then we have the data summarization. So these are all the tasks we can perform it by using the Azure Databricks. So guys, the Azure Databricks, in short, we call it here as what is that? ADB. We call it as what? ADB. That is called as the Azure Databricks with the PySpark. So we are going to see the programming here with the PySpark, where PySpark is nothing but it is a combination of Python plus Spark together. So hence we are using the PySpark as the programming part of this. Okay. So as you know that the whole process of the the Azure Databricks, the whole process of the Azure Databricks. So it starts from what is that? The data. So without the data, we cannot work. So hence we get the data. So from where do we get the data? From various type of business as already we have discussed it. Okay. So we get the data from various type of business. What is that? The first one is called as what? Social networking sites. Social networking sites. Okay. Then we can get the data from the banking applications. We can get the data from the banking applications, social networking sites, and we can also get the data from the live streaming process. And then it can be, we can also get the data that is nothing but human generated data, human and machine generated data. Human or machine generated data. And then we can also get the data. What is that? The other source of what? From the IoT sensors. IoT sensors, guys, everyone. So these are all the sources from where we can expect the data. So these are all the source where we have it and from where we can expect the data, where this data, guys, this data is nothing but it generates a data called what is that? Big data. Big data. So guys, what is big data? Big data is nothing but the massive amount of data. The huge volume of the data is called as big data. So as already we have discussed that the big data is classified into three categories, three different categories, guys. Yes, everyone. What are those? Everyone. The first one we can call it here as what is it, guys? The first one we can call it as what? Structured data. And the second one we can say it as what, guys? Semi-structured data. And the third one we can call it as what? Unstructured data. Okay, unstructured data. That is nothing but the unstructured data. So when we talk about the structured data, guys, what do you mean structured data, everyone? The structured data is nothing but the data which is generated, everyone, the data which is generated. Structured data is nothing but the data which is generated in the form of a table. That is nothing but in the form of what is it, guys? Rows and columns. In the form of what is it, guys? Rows and columns. The data which generated in the form of what? Rows and columns is called as what? Structured data. And when we call about when we talk about the semi-structured data, guys, the semi-structured data is nothing but the data where we can get the data in the form of the following files. What are those? JSON file format and HTML file format, and then you have the XML file format. These are all the various type of file formats from where we can get the data. Semi-structured data, you know already. The user cannot understand it completely, but still it is into the user understandable language. And the next one is, what is it? You have it. Unstructured data means what? There is no structure for the data, guys. Basically, there will be no structure for the data. There will be no structure for the data, guys. Always. There will be no structure for the data, guys. Okay. So what is it? Unstructured data. So here you can see, guys, what's it? Everyone. So we can say unstructured data. So unstructured data means what? That is in the form of a, that is nothing but photos. If you have a photos, that is also unstructured data, guys. Or else the videos, we can find it in your mobile phone. That is also unstructured. Okay, the photos, videos. Okay, the photos, videos. And then you have the chat history. Photos, videos, chat history. Okay, photos, videos, chat history, and voice notes. All these are called as what, guys? All these are called as what, everyone? All these are called as what? All these are called as what? Unstructured data. So these are the three categories of data we can always find this. Okay. Whereas to deal with this data, how do we store this data? So in Azure, we store the data in the Azure storages. That means whatever the data we store it here, it is commonly used, guys. The whatever the data we store it here, it is commonly used. Whatever the data we store it, it is commonly used by all the services of Azure. That is, this data, whatever we store it into the Azure storages, can be used by the ADB, Azure Databricks, or else, so okay, ADB, Azure Databricks. It can be used by the ADF Azure Data Factory, or else it can be used by the Synapse, or else it can be used by the Fabric. Okay. So any service, these are all called what? These are all called as what, guys? Services. So any service, guys, these are all called as what? Services. So any service can use the above data. That is nothing but the data which is stored into the Azure storages. These are called as what? Services. That's it. So when we talk about the storages, so how many storages we have it, guys? Altogether, we can say, guys, 90 plus storages. How many? 90 plus storages we can say, guys. Always. Okay. We can say what's that? 90 plus storages. So we can store the data in what is that? The Azure storages. 90 plus storages we have it where we can store the data. The first type of storage, guys, that is called as what? Azure, that is blob storage, everyone. The Azure blob storage and Azure blob storage means what, guys, everyone? So the Azure blob storage is nothing but basically it can store any kind of a data that is called as what? Structured data. Structured data. It can store what's that? Structured data, comma. It can store what's that? Semi-structured data. Semi-structured data, structured data, semi-structured data, and as well as the unstructured data. So guys, we can store any kind of data here. What's that? Structured, semi-structured, and as well as the unstructured data. Then we have what is that, guys? But there is a drawback here. What's the drawback? The Azure blob storage can store only what is that, guys? Limited data. What is my limited data, guys? That is there is some limitation for storing the data into the what is that? The Azure that is nothing but blob storage. That is called as what? Here we can say 500 TB, guys. It can store up to what's that? 500 terabytes, not more than that. So to enhance the same, if you have the data more than 500 TB, where to store? So for that, the Azure has come out with their another storage that is called as what? Azure Data Lake Gen 2. Azure Data Lake Gen 2, wherein guys, here you can store any kind of data. That is nothing but Azure Data Lake Gen 2. Azure Data Lake, what's it? Gen 2. So the Gen 2 can store any kind of data. That is called as what? Structured, semi-structured, and as well as the unstructured. Structured, semi-structured, and as well as the unstructured. Structured, semi-structured, and as well as the unstructured. Okay. Structured, semi-structured, and as well as the unstructured data, where this is called as what? Unlimited storage. Unlimited storage. That means whatever the volume of the data you have in terabytes, petabytes, okay, whatever you have, you can store it. That's not a problem. Okay. So that's it. The third one you can see, guys, Azure SQL database. Azure SQL database. So guys, here you can store the Azure SQL database. Here you can store what's it? The Azure SQL database. The Azure SQL database means what? Using of SQL database on the cloud is called as what? Azure SQL database. And the Azure SQL database can store what is it? Only guys, can you see here? It can store only the structured data, but whereas other format of data is not supported here. And the fourth format you can say, guys, Azure Cosmos DB. Azure Cosmos DB. So Cosmos DB is nothing but it is called as what? No SQL database. It is called as what? Cosmos DB. So Cosmos DB means what, guys? It is also called as what? No SQL database. The Cosmos DB is also called as what? No SQL database. No SQL database. So that means when you don't use the SQL, it has the capacity to store structured and semi-structured, but not the unstructured, guys. So that is called as what? Azure Cosmos database. Azure Cosmos database. And the fifth one you have, what is that? Azure, yes, guys. Azure Synapse Analytics. So we can see, guys, the Azure Synapse Analytics means what? The Azure Synapse Analytics is nothing but basically this is called as a data warehouse of Azure, guys. It is called as what? The data warehouse of Azure. It is called as what, guys, everyone? The data warehouse of Azure. And the data warehouse means what? Yes. What is the data warehouse of, guys? Amazon Redshift is the data warehouse. And for GCP, guys, the BigQuery is the data warehouse. Likewise, the Azure Synapse Analytics has the data warehouse, and this can store only the structured data, guys. No other type of data is stored apart from this. Likewise, guys, you can have many more. That is called as what? Azure Elastic Pools. Elastic Pool means, guys, a collection of multiple databases stored at a place, such as you have one production database is there, one sales database is there, one purchase database. So all the type of multiple databases we can store. And the word when we use the database, it can store only the structured data. No other type of data is stored here. Likewise, as I told you, you have 90 plus storages. So how to view that storages? So for that, first of all, you have to log into the azure.com, everyone. Log into the azure.com. After logging into the azure.com, guys, you will have to register and then go for the portal.azure.com. Portal.azure.com. So now I'll take you to the direct practicals, guys, everyone. So just have a look on this. I'm just sharing you the screen right away. So can you see here? First of all, you have to go into this azure.com, everyone. I'm sharing you the screen. Everyone is able to see this. And can see here, you can go with any two models. When you go to the azure.com, you can go with the two models. Try Azure for free. Free means what? Guys, it will be, if you try for free here, so that means you can, okay, have very limited features. Not all the features, very limited features will be there. And you can also go with the pay-as-you-go model. Pay-as-you-go model means for the postpaid. From the day one, you will have to pay it. Okay. So that's the thing you have it, guys, everyone. So can you see here? We have the same. So just click on this pay-as-you-go model. So mine is already registered. So hence it's giving my mail ID. That is the Cloud Innovatives at Gmail. But now if you want your thing, you can just, you'll get your mail ID, everything you have to give it manually. And once all the things are done, you have to give the debit and credit card details, where it will charge 2 rupees from your debit or credit card initially, and that will be refunded to your account within 8 days. Then afterwards, guys, it will reroute you back to this. Can you see here? It will reroute you back to this page that is called as portal.azure.com. So this is the page where you are going to work. Can you see here? You have all the services here. This is ADF, means what? Data Factory. And then you have, what is it, guys? ML means machine learning. Azure machine learning is also there. Okay, everyone. Azure machine learning is there. Then apart from this, you have, what is it, guys? Azure, that is nothing but SQL database is there. And as I told you that Synapse, we can also use the Synapse as a service. And then we can have, what is it? Azure Databricks. So this is the thing we are going to see it right now. So here you have, what's it? Azure Databricks. So these are all the services. So you want to see the storages all. So you can see storage, 17 storages are here. Can you see it? You have the 17 storages here. Then apart from this, okay, you have 17 storages are here. And then you can come up. Database storages are 19. And then you have, what's it, guys? 11. So you can say 11 plus 19, 30 and 47. So if you calculate here 47, more if you calculate in detail, that is SAP HANA. It is also one of the storage, guys. SAP HANA is one of the storage, you can say. If you count it one by one, it will be 90 plus storages, guys. Totally, it is 90 plus storages. Okay. So you have all these storages given into the Azure. So now, guys, here you have it, the Azure screen. So now to start with, how to start with this, guys? So let's start with the Databricks here. So how to start with the Databricks? So let's see here, what are the things we have in Azure Databricks. So now when we talk about the Azure Databricks, guys, Azure Databricks. So now when we talk about the Azure Databricks, so the Azure Databricks starts with the first one. What is it? You have it, guys, everyone. The first one, that is called as what? Resource group. So resource group is just like a main folder we created, guys. Resource group. Resource group. Resource group is nothing but just like a main folder, guys, we created. As yesterday we have discussed that the main folder is nothing but what? Everyone, can you see here? Just to see here, guys, can you see here, everyone? So this is nothing but, can you see? This is a folder. Inside the folder, you have the files here, everyone. Okay. Inside the folder, you have many files. Can you see it? This is the files you have it. So now, guys, anyways, can you see it? This is inside the files, you have folder. If I delete this folder, all the files will be deleted or not? In fact, it is deleted. So now, likewise, the same type of a folder we created here. That is, we call it as what? Everyone, resource group. So first of all, we can have one or many resource group in a Databricks session. The next one is what? You have, what is it? Data, that is nothing but within the resource group, you have, what is it? Workspace. So what is a workspace? Databricks workspace is nothing but it allows multiple users to work into the session. That means one data engineer, one data scientist, everyone, one data engineer, one data scientist, and okay, a data analyst, all of them, okay, all of them, they can work together, guys. All of them, they can work together here, okay? And within the same session, all of them, they can work together in the same session here, okay? So that is nothing but the workspace. So we can have one or many workspaces. And then you have, what is it, guys? The cluster. So workspace, the workspace is the collection of, what is that? One or many clusters. Cluster. So guys, a workspace is a collection of what? One or many cluster. So what is cluster? Cluster is a group of machines working like a single machine. Group of machine working like a single machine, where in the cluster you have two type of machines, guys. What are those, everyone? So guys, the first one, what are those, everyone? So let's try to see it here. The first one is called as, what is it, guys? The first one is called as the master node. Then you have, what is it? Worker node. master node and the worker node, master node and the worker node, master node and the worker node, guys, everyone. So you have what's it? Master node and the worker node. So master node is more, it is the main machine which controls the whole session, but actually the data is being processed at the worker node. The whole data is processed by the worker node. So we can have one or many, there is a limited clusters for the session. And finally, guys, what is it you have it? You have the, yes, everyone. Finally, what is it you have it? You have the, everyone. You have what is that? Notebook. So means what, guys, everyone? Notebook, the cluster is the collection of one or more notebooks. So these are, you can say, these are, you can say, guys, everyone. These are, you can say, guys, notebook. Okay. So these are, we can say, the components or the properties of the Azure Databricks session. So the Azure Databricks session consisting of a resource group, workspace, cluster, and the notebook. Okay, guys, everyone. Notebook means what? The user interface book. So whatever we write it here, everyone, whatever we write it, that is called as what? Okay. Using the language for whatever the command we write it, whatever the command we write it using the language is called Scala language or R language or Python language, or else by using the Scala R Python SQL language, or else, guys, or else we can use, what is that, guys? PySpark. So that is called as what? Combination of Python plus Spark. Combination of what? Python plus Spark is called as what? PySpark. So guys, all these commands, all these languages, we can use it on a notebook. So whereas notebook is, what is that you have it, guys, everyone? The notebook is a, that is nothing but collection of all the commands using different languages. And notebook is nothing but, that is nothing but notebooks is attached to a cluster, running cluster. So what is a cluster? Cluster is a group of machines working like a single machine where you have two machines. What is it? Master node and worker node. And this cluster will be inside the workspace. That means what? Can you see here? If you have a data engineer and data scientist is there. So you can create, can you see here? You can have two different cluster. On one cluster, you guys, on one cluster, data engineer will work. And on the another cluster, data scientist will work. Okay. So likewise. So this workspace is a part of what? Resource group. So if you delete this resource group, the whole thing will be collapsed here. So whole thing will be collapsed if you delete the resource group, everyone. So resource group, on top of resource group, you will have workspace. On top of workspace, you will have cluster. On top of cluster, you will have the notebook, guys. This is the hierarchy we need to have it. So everyone is clear with the basic concepts of this, or you want me to explain it once again? Please let me know, guys. Everyone, please. Hello?
Yeah, we are good, sir. Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, got it, sir. We are good on this.
okay. So let's start with the practical on this, guys. So further, I'll give you a one word note for all this, okay? So guys, I'll use it resource group. It is like a main folder where it is like a main folder where one or more workspaces can be created. One or more workspaces can be created. If we delete the same, the whole properties, the whole properties will be collapsed. will be collapsed. That means it will be deleted. Then next one, what? Workspace. It allows multiple users. It allows multiple users to work into the session. It allows multiple users to work into the session. That is nothing but, what is that? It allows multiple users to work into the session. That is called as what? It allows multiple users to work into the session. That is nothing but one data engineer, one data scientist, one data engineer, one data scientist, one data engineer, one data scientist, and one, what is it? You have it, data engineer, data scientist, and you have the database architect. Database architect, all of them, they can work into the single session without leaving the session. Then you have cluster. Cluster is what? The group of machines okay guys, just a minute. The group of machines. So guys, here you have what's it? The group of machines working like a single machine. Working like a single machine is called as cluster. The cluster is the collection of yes guys, what is it? Master node and worker node. Master node and worker nodes, you can say, because more than one nodes you can have, guys. More than one nodes you can have. Okay. The cluster is the collection of master node and worker nodes. Okay, that's it. Finally, you have what's it, guys? Notebook. Notebook. So what is that notebook? It is referred as the user interface book. It is referred as a user interface book, guys. It is referred as the user interface book. It is referred as a user interface book where the user can write the commands in various languages. That's it, guys. Okay. Such as what is it, guys? Such as, I can say all this. That's it. Okay. So that's it, guys. So let's start with the practical now, everyone. So I'm just going ahead to open this. Everyone, just have a look. So I'm starting the practical, guys. So, okay, the first one. First of all, to begin with, what is that you have to do? Resource group creation is mandatory. Can you see here on the top, you have a resource group. So just open this resource group. And now, guys, create the resource group here. Click on the create blade. This is called as a blade creation. You just click on this blade here. Blade means what, or tab, whatever you want, you can say. Select the subscription, guys. Already I have a subscription. The subscription name is the Cloud Innovatives. Okay. And the resource group is what is ready, guys. Any you can use it. I'm using ADB RG. That means Azure Databricks resource groups. Any resource group you can use. Any name. Okay. And by default, this is being stored in the East US data center. East US means what? Resource detail means what? It is using the data center called what? East US data center, right? Okay. So we have it here. So click on the review and create it, guys. Let's set everyone. So the resource group is ready now. See, guys, the resource group is ready, but you don't have any resources in this. Now I will start the resource. There's something but the first one. Workspace. How to start the workspace? Can you see it? I'm opening everyone. So here you have an icon called Databricks is there. If you could not find it here, you can search it here as well. Databricks, you'll get it. Okay. So guys, just can you see here? Click on the Azure Databricks. And now you have to create a workspace. So for that, click on the create blade here again. And here you have to select the resource group. So already you have defined the resource group now. Guys here. So select the resource group and provide the workspace name. So any name you can use it, but I'm giving the name as what? Can you say sample workspace? Sample workspace. What's that I'm using? Sample workspace, and it is being hosted on the East US data center. Pricing tier is premium because mine is a premium. Okay. So if you want, you can select it as whatever you want. Okay. So I can use a standard. Okay. Anything you can use because all the things are supported for me. And manage resource group, you can leave it as it is because this is created by the system here. Okay. So you need not worry on this. So that's it, guys. So just click on the review and create it. Review means it will check with the given name whether the name existing name is matching with any of the workspaces available into the system globally, guys. Globally, it will check. If it is not there, inside it says validation passed. So just click on the create tab. So the workspace creation will take 2 minutes time, guys. So you have to wait for this. Just wait here, everyone. This will be created now. This will take some time. 2 minutes time it will take. Okay. Now guys, this is ready. So go to the resource group. Can you see? Go to the resource. Now guys, this is called as the workspace. Now you have to launch the workspace, guys. Launching the workspace. Okay. So just launch it here. Launch means starting the workspace. So this is the workspace, guys. So now the workspace is what it allows multiple users to work into the session. So now you have to create the, yes, guys, what is that, everyone? Just check here. So we have created the resource group, we have created the workspace, and then now you have to create what's that, guys, everyone? Cluster. So just come here, create the cluster. In the left blade, click on the compute. Compute means cluster only, guys. Click on the compute. And now, how many type of clusters you have it? Anyways, this we'll discuss in the next session. Currently, I'm using the all-purpose cluster. Means what? The cluster which can be used for all the purposes. Everything. Just click on this create grid. So here you have what's it? The name is using as what? The cloud innovatives cluster. That's it, guys. And here you have what's it? Multiple nodes. What is that, guys? Everyone? Multiple nodes means what? Can you see here? Multiple nodes means what? Here you can have master node and worker node. So these are the details. Worker node is what? The version of the worker node it's using standard. Okay, D4, V5. So what I will do is instead of this, yeah, no problem. I'll use this one. Same. And the same version is used with the driver. Driver means what? Master node base. Driver node is also is nothing but the other name for the master node. That's it. These are the basic details you have it. And now guys, that's it for this. And click on the compute. Compute means what? Create it. Create the cluster.
Sir, I have a doubt, small doubt.
Hmm.
First, we need to create the workspace, or we need to create the cluster
First, you have to create a workspace. Upon the workspace
workspace.
only, the cluster will be created.
Okay. The notebook from one workspace can access no notebook from other workspace. Can
Yes,
we
yes.
access like
Access
okay?
it. You can access it.
Yeah.
The cluster creation will also take some time, 1 to 2 minutes. So we have to wait for that. Anyways, guys, what does it says? The cluster is not okay. There is some issue with the cluster. Okay, the quota exceeds, it says. Okay, this is a technical error of the creation in this. Okay, so anyways, we have to again change this and recreate it. No problem, guys. We'll just recreate it on the next session. That's on Monday. Okay, and the Monday you will have the link will be changed. So get it registered if you are willing to continue the session, guys. Okay. So that's it, guys. I'm just ending up the today's session, and we'll just continue tomorrow. Okay. Thank you.
So one more doubt.
Hmm.
No.
Yeah,
Yeah.
tell me.
We can, yeah, we can create multiple cluster under one workspace, right?
Yes,
Based
yes, we
upon
can.
based upon the RAM utilization, as per the role, data engineer, data scientist.
Yes,
For data
yes,
scientist, we need more RAM. Yeah.
yes. We can
Okay.
create
When
multiple
we access
clusters.
the Yeah, when we access the notebook from other cluster, the memory used for accessing the notebook, whether it depends on the clusters.
Basically, the size of the cluster depends, no?
Yeah.
It
Okay.
depends.
So okay.
Basically,
But
see, basically the
having
notebook, whatever you have it, the notebook is only to process the data, not for it. It is not going to store the data in this cluster now.
Okay. Okay.
Hmm.
So the note the we can run the notebook based upon the cluster size.
That's it.
Okay.
Only for running purpose it used.
Okay. No, notebook is less like a interface.
Yes, yes,
We can specify the RAM in the cluster itself.
yes, yes.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
guys. Okay. Thank you. So we'll meet again on Monday with a new link.
Yeah. Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you.